So my name is Corina Phalen. I'm an undergraduate in data analytics from Ohio State, and last fall I worked with Sophie Antonetz and Ider to investigate the role of artificial intelligence in the workforce and what companies can do to help workers through the transition. So this is more of a business-focused solution than what we've already seen today. The presentations have been so cool. It's been so exciting to see what people have been doing. But it's more focused on, this presentation is more focused on empowering people in the face of a new technology that's going to have major impacts on the world. Next slide, please. So here's the rest of the team who aren't with us today. So Sophie graduated with her bachelor's last December, and then John graduated with his master's in May. We also collaborated with some people from Smart Columbus, a Columbus area think tank. Next slide, please. So as we all know, AI is getting really big. A 2023 World Economic Forum report found that 75% of companies were planning to adopt AI in the next 5 years. If that makes you nervous, you're not alone. And as seen in the first image, a research poll found that the percentage of adults that were more concerned than excited about the usage of AI rose from 37% in 2021 to 52% in 2023. But the public is not unanimous in this opinion. As seen in the second image, despite a majority of the American public believing that AI poses a risk to society, those with decision-making power about AI generally have different beliefs than the rest of the public. For instance, AI experts were far more likely than the public to say that AI will have a net positive impact on the US. Not only that, but as seen in the third image, there are differences within companies. Leaders are generally excited about AI, whereas frontline workers are more concerned. This fundamental difference in attitude has led to rising tensions across the country. Next slide, please. This brings us to the root of the problem, which is twofold. First, as mentioned previously, there is a fundamental disconnect between decision makers and frontline stakeholders in terms of attitudes towards AI. Exacerbating the problem is a lack of communication about the decisions that are made. According to a Gallup poll, 93% of Fortune chief human resource officers report that the organizations do use AI tools. Only 15% of employees say they've received clear communication about their organization strategy. Next slide, please. So our team conceptualized this as a partially built bridge over a rushing river. Employees stand on one bank, which is eroding as technology advances. To keep their companies competitive, executives are trying to quickly build AI infrastructure. Time is of the essence, but a poorly built bridge could collapse. The employee on the front lines may see fundamental structural weaknesses in their company's AI strategy or have concerns that are unaddressed, but they're unable to make their voices heard by the executives hard at work on the bridge. The good news is that management is already trying to bridge the gap. So by offering training modules and sharing success stories, the foundation for collaboration is being built. But the bridge is not complete. We need continuous communication channels, spaces for employees to provide feedback, ask questions, express legitimate concerns, and engage in ongoing dialogues. Next, please. This problem lives in a system with stakeholders that span all levels of society. Direction is primarily decided at an upper management level. Academia, consulting firms, and government agencies provide advice, but executives ultimately have the final say. Thus, strategy is generally decided in a top-down approach. Decisions are made at the executive level and trickle down to lower-level employees. With AI specifically, we are seeing management embrace AI and try various measures to encourage its usage, while employees may feel like AI is being shoved down their throats. Our goal is to reverse this narrative, to create a feedback mechanism that reverses the current flow of power and information to create a more bottom-up approach towards AI strategy. Our solution for this is an AI communication package to help companies bridge the communication gap around AI. Next slide, please. And then our solution is an AI communication strategy or a framework that companies are encouraged to modify to fit their own needs. There are 5 phases of this: obtaining insights through an initial anonymous survey, analyzing results, bridging any information gaps, continuous engagement through town halls and roundtables, and then refining the strategy. Next slide, please. For phases 1 and 2, we first gather employee insights through an initial anonymous sentiment survey that asks questions about where employees want to be included, and any feedback that they have on the existing strategy. This anonymity provides room to voice concerns without fear of retribution. Leaders can then use the results from the survey to determine a direction. Next slide, please. With the insights gathered, we then move to the next phase, bridging the information gap. This involves a communication channel and monthly newsletter. The newsletter is designed to keep employees informed and engaged throughout the process and offers opportunities to get involved at upcoming events and provides ways for employees to give feedback about concerns. Next slide, please. Phase 4 focuses on continuous engagement, ensuring communication doesn't stop after the initial rollout. So this would include monthly town halls to discuss progress and roundtables for deeper discussions. Before each town hall, we suggest sending an anonymous survey to employees to provide a platform to voice concerns anonymously. Questions posed in the survey will then be used to tailor the agenda by addressing concerns and feedback from the survey to show that executives are seriously considering concerns. Town halls will also include Q&A sessions so people can directly pose questions to leaders. This format gives the flexibility to touch on many topics around the impacts of AI that are on people's minds. So, for instance, cybersecurity, information security, or how AI might impact the talent pipeline are really big questions that we're seeing. So this is where our solution shines. So AI adoption is a very broad topic, but the solution would offer a mechanism to address a variety of widespread concerns. Next slide, please. The final phase is refining the strategy based on feedback. We recommend that executives and their teams gather insights from town halls, surveys, and roundtables to help adjust their overall strategy and decide how to move forward. Next slide, please. So a major advantage of this plan is that it builds on existing infrastructure and uses common practices in businesses. It builds on what companies are already doing, but with an emphasis placed on active listening. Companies can use platforms that they already use for implementation, and town halls are already a common practice. Additionally, the solution is iterative and adaptive by design. This yields an approach that is robust to a changing landscape and rising concerns. This is desirable for executives because it provides a way to navigate a rapidly changing landscape. Executives are under a lot of pressure to incorporate AI from their boards, but may not know how best to do this, or even if it's the right approach for their business. Leaders recognize that they need to work with their employees to determine an effective strategy. This solution provides a pathway to use employee insight to identify weaknesses in areas that AI could be effectively utilized, while also encouraging buy-in from people. It's also desirable from an employee perspective. A lot of current strategies focus on getting people to use AI whether they like it or not. This rhetoric suppresses opposition and can make skeptics reluctant to voice valid concerns. Additionally, reports from Ernst Young and Gallup have found that people want companies to be more transparent about AI. By focusing on gathering employee perspectives, this solution provides employees with the ability to communicate concerns, as well as filling an unmet desire for information about AI strategy. The biggest obstacle to our plan would be if there was a lack of participation from either employers or employees. The foundation of the solution is active communication, so if either party fails to participate, the solution will be ineffective. The worst case scenario would be if this plan was carried out without true intent on the part of management, which could then cause employees to feel that their concerns were not being heard. For this solution to work, executives need to be meaningful about following through with concerns. And alternatively, if employees do not provide substantial feedback, it could be hard for managers to make decisions. These obstacles can be addressed by more extensive prototyping for specific use cases, which we ran out of time for, unfortunately. Companies may struggle to apply this framework to their individual use cases or feel this framework offers insufficient guidance. Perhaps if we narrowed this problem or the scope to this particular company or industry, might have been able to address nuances for specific cases. But again, the time limitation for the project was a concern, and we were not able to get to that. Next slide, please. In summary, AI usage is growing and companies need to adapt quickly. However, the current prevalent approach is a top-down strategy that suppresses employee input. Using phrases like AI is coming whether we like it or not can lead to important concerns being missed and a decline in morale. However, we provide a flexible framework and communication that offers an opportunity to address concerns as they arise. The framework can be adapted to individual use cases and is applicable across industries. By incorporating employee input when discussing AI, executives can develop a more resilient strategy and more supportive culture. Thank you. So yes, thanks to our sponsors and our mentor and instructors for supporting this project. And then I would like to open the floor to questions.